ultimately, how can you trust your partner? Because she is a cheater, and so are you.
I'm not promoting or advocating for people to get divorced.
Tom's not a cunt, so I don't think it's going to happen. Sorry.
Both our exes became a couple.
That happens a lot.
Did you not know that?
No!
Welcome back to the Big D with me, Buzzy Randall, and Ate Jewel. This is the start of our new season, and we're really excited with Tom Nash, otherwise known as Mr. Divorce Coach. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Welcome to the Big D, Tom. We are, quite frankly, you're one of our best friends now. We've had some chitty chats before you've come on.
Yeah, we talked about some weird stuff.
Yes, so you're one of us, basically. But we're so thrilled. You're our first gentleman as well to come on the podcast. And you have been so open and phenomenal in helping people as the Mr. Divorce Coach. You've been on the BBC. You are my This Morning fam as well. You've been on GB News and writing for The Times, where Buzzy saw you. And you've been a real source of inspiration and very brave to be so open about your experiences and helping families and blended families with divorce and separation. So we are thrilled to have you on.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Pleasure to be here.
Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on season 2, because quite frankly, we've settled down. And I think
This is settled.
we've settled down. And from the fury of the breakdown of our marriages, to see the nuances that there are. And people have affairs for different reasons and different, all our readers and people who speak to us. And it's not just pointing the fingers in the village stock and like, you, shame, shame, shame. It's not that kind of Game of Thrones shame. I think people have affairs for different reasons. They want to blow up their marriage. It's like a tick, tick, boom. I think they just fall out of love, or it just happens. And what was it for you?
How did that happen for you? How did you go from meeting your current partner on a train to being Mr. Divorce Coach?
We met on the train, hence the title of the article. We were both kind of suburban commuters into the city. Small world where we'd actually also lived for most of our lives, like within a few miles of each other, never bumped into each other. We got the same trains. We actually even had a WhatsApp group of commuters. There's like 30 of us that are all friends. And you'd put into the chat, I'm on the 7:05. In the evening, you'd meet in the bar, not in the morning. And you'd have a drink have a beer on the way home, whatever. The only reason that me and my partner actually met was she had already separated from her partner, from her husband. They'd immediately gone to a shared care 2255, whatever it was, or still is. And because of their changes of kind of day-to-day routines and whatever, she had to change her train and her routines. And she just ended up on both my train on the way in and the way out. So that's actually how we got introduced. So it's through mutual friends, and she says that I would romanticize things because I'm a hopeless romantic. But it was one of those moments where you kind of go,
When you saw her,
Was there a
point?
point? Was there a point that you were like, I'm going to have an affair with this woman?
are we allowed to swear on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Have
okay.
you not-
Fuck yeah.
Have you not met
Thank
us?
God for that. Well, no, I didn't know when we were recording. No, there absolutely was a point. And actually for
Was it
both
the first
of
time
us,
you saw her?
Yeah, when we first sat down. It's actually more about, not necessarily the first time I saw her, it's actually the first time that we kind of talked kind of one-on-one.
Connection.
Sat down on the train, mutual friend of ours went, so-and-so, this is Tom, Tom, this is so-and-so. And for about 6 months, she'd noticed that I'd been quite busy in the WhatsApp chat with our other friends. And she's like, you're that guy. Basically wanted to shut up. So she's like, you're that guy. And so as soon as we started talking, there was like, you're really cool, you're really interesting, you're really fun. Like, there's just kind of an interest there. It turns out that she worked literally just around the corner from us. We were barely half a tube stop away from the city. We both used to walk from our main station into the city rather than the tube. So we were just like, well, we'll walk together then. So we just became friends and walked together, and then we'd meet for lunch. And it was one of those very, very, very early first meetings of sitting down and having that moment of going, fuck.
Did she feel the same?
You're kind of in trouble here. Right. But not thinking about it, but not to use a kind of coaching, counselling, therapy phrase, but to really be aware of it, to go, whoa, step back,
Yeah.
to go.
You said that to her?
No, in your own head.
Yeah.
Like going,
This is dangerous.
did I go, ooh, and actually, again, it's all about choices and options as well at the end of the day. Like, you make those decisions, conscious or otherwise. But again, as part of the article is kind of reflect back. But
can I ask you, did you want to be, and also I think what makes it easier for people who have dealt with infidelity, I think there's different types of cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Is it did you want to be sneaky peeky?
No, I bloody hated that. It's horrible.
So I think some people get off on the,
do you know what? You're right.
I've got one over on you. I've got lots of balls. And like, my dad was a secret polygamist. He had 6 different families around the world, and my mum never knew for 20 years. And I think part of the kink was having all those balls in the air. Let's call it.
No pun intended.
And I think there's that kind of affair, and there's oh God, I've met my twin flame, and it's really inconvenient.
Well, the thing is about affairs or adultery, and obviously there's different parameters of that as well. Have you guys ever read any Esther Perel?
We could say I had an affair.
So where's this going?
No, this is all about me. Have you guys ever read or watched anything from Esther Perel? She's like a huge relationship expert, and she's fantastic.
Probably
she's really
should do,
insightful.
Tom. Thanks.
Right, absolutely.
Now
don't.
we do
Right, there you
this.
go. Right, go and if you're looking at what resources, go and have it. She's got YouTube's TED Talks books. She's really, really interesting, and she talks about all this stuff. And there's lots of different types of infidelity, adultery, because of course you've got, is that sexting? Is it still being on Tinder? Is it paid sex? Is it a string of one night stands, multiple affairs? They're trying to complete Tinder in their spare time, or is it love, or multiples, families dotted around? Right, so there's all these different variations.
Yes, what is cheating as well? Like,
Well, that's the point. Everyone has a different variation of that.
Like, we had a reader say that their husband was having online sex with a sex worker. Is that? But didn't touch anybody. Is that cheating? Like, so many people have been
emotionally,
having lunch
or
every day.
secrecy and all of that side of things. It's not just necessarily about the sex, right?
Yeah.
So where does it start? And very often with the clients I work with, and I work with men, women, and couples, before there's any sexual or physical affair, there's a connective, emotive, a validated, heard, seen, felt type experience. Men or women, irrelevant, gender neutral, because it's not as binary as that. And the other thing about affairs, and this is why I'm trying to say this without you guys hating me, because you guys have been on the other side of this.
We're never going to hate you.
Tom, we're never going to hate you. Yeah.
The affair, again, whether it be emotive or sexual or whatever it is, the starting point of that isn't the catalyst of the problems. It's the symptom, and very often, typically, the outcome of
a bigger problem.
Ineffective communication. 7 stages of disconnection, right? And all the other parts of, for each of the people within the scenario, the original kind of married or together couple.
You can't steal someone if they don't want to be stolen.
I've got a bit of a phrase that I say.
Is that really harsh to say?
No, it's true. It's true.
I've got a bit of a phrase that I say, which is, no one wakes up on a Tuesday morning and goes, that one, I'm leaving for them. Right? So there's already been a systematic build-up, and it doesn't mean that the other person, because, I wasn't getting what I wanted, or you didn't treat me this way, or you didn't have sex as often as I wanted, or you didn't walk the dog, or change the baby's nappy, or whatever the other things are. It's not necessarily that necessarily is all true, but it is how they felt. But then they haven't been talking about it, so the person doesn't know that there's this misconnect or whatever, a misalignment. And so it's a factor of bigger systematic issues that sit way behind. Maybe, when I say about ineffective communication, maybe the person that had the affair, even if it's more sexual, it's not about love, maybe they haven't felt safe enough for whatever reason, and not because their partner has made them feel unsafe, but they themselves don't feel safe enough to maybe turn around and say, well, hey, we've been together for 10, 15, 20 years. That thing that we used to do in the bedroom is really lovely, but I want to try this now, or whatever it might be. And if they don't feel like they can talk to their partner about that, or a change of careers, or moving house, or changing jobs, or whatever it might be, like if they can't talk about these things, there's going to create disconnects, and then it's basically about, like you said, people that, and my mother half says this all the time, unhappy people, and particularly men, statistically men don't actually leave for another woman, and actually leave and stay with that woman as well. It's quite a high percentage that don't. So it's actually quite a small percentage that really.
So what does that mean? They just have sex and it's just like they don't leave. They want the cake and eat it scenario.
Yeah, potentially, or stay with it, or they might not necessarily end up with that person. It's more so about that they leave and stay with that particular person. That's usually quite a small percentage. And I mean, like long term, they might leave and it will last 6, 12, 18 months, whatever it might be. It's very rare that it would get to kind of almost a decade.
Yeah.
And they're still together and like talking about getting married and etc.
Can I ask, you have remained really good friends with your first wife. I'm going to call her your first wife because.
Huh? What do you call her?
Well, I don't know what to call by
He
name.
said he doesn't like to call her his ex.
I don't call her. Well, I call her by
Baby mama.
I don't even actually, not far off. I don't even call her by her name. So she's of Italian heritage, and her first name begins with an N. I'm not going to say it out loud. So in my phone, she's Mama N.
Oh,
that's nice.
I'd rather be called 100% that bitch in your phone.
I got a story about that.
Is that weird?
I got a story about that, and this is here a tip for people: if you are thinking of changing your ex's, former spouses, whatever, name something a negative connotation in your phone.
Don't do it.
That cheating bastard, that whatever, right? And more so around how tech can be helpful or a hindrance. You ever been in a modern electric car? These things talk to you, right? You get a text or a WhatsApp, something nondescript. I'll be there to pick up little Johnny at 5 o'clock. And the kid's in the back of the car, and I've had this happen more than once with clients where mum or dad is driving along and that cheating bastard or that stupid whatever, right? And it comes up the car and goes, that cheating bastard says, I'll be there at 5 to pick up Johnny. And then little Johnny's sitting in the back going,
I'm 100% going to change the name. Brilliant.
True story, it happens.
I've had that, but for Bumble. I was taking the girls to
there you
school.
go. Little tip.
Hashtag hot Sam from Bumble is asking if you'd like to go for drinks. And Ola went, is that our new daddy? She's hilarious. I was like, no. I've had it from Bumble.
But there's your hot tip. But anyway, back to so you were saying, so my first wife, or Mama N.
Yes.
Mama M.
So
N.
she obviously, you've remained really good friends with her, and you have talked candidly about how you have blended families and you've made it work, it seems, certainly, really positively. How did she take the whole thing? Because it's hard, and I say this from my own personal experience. I'm not going to tell you what happened in the breakdown of my marriage, but, I will do off air. I will do off air.
Free coaching.
But I felt very much to blame.
Okay.
And that it was my fault.
It hits your self-esteem
Yeah,
as a woman in the gut that you're not
I
enough.
had not been enough. I had driven him away. I had not communicated, that it was my fault. Yeah. And I still carry that blame, and I feel that blame is still directed at me by him a little bit.
Misogyny.
Misogyny. What would you say to me? I've told you that.
Yeah, as her. No, and to answer your kind of the original point about how she felt, I mean, it's in the article, but yeah, she was absolutely devastated. It completely knocked her confidence, self-worth, self-value wasn't enough, right? And we were the shock couple for everybody. Like, oh my God, I can't, like, they were so happy. Like, I can't believe that. They had the house, they had the kids, they had the car, they had this lovely lifestyle. They were holding hands when they walked the dog. You never would have known, sort of thing. So it was. Sorry, bring up some re-traumatizing. Yeah, sorry, but
not that I'm saying that infidelity was part of the breakdown of my marriage, allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah, all our experiences are different.
Absolutely.
And how did you feel?
Did you feel guilty?
In response to seeing that?
Really, really horrible. So, and I think the bit that, and again, even at the time, but even still looking back at this now almost 10 years later, was I was trying to kind of muster up the bravery or courage, the bravery or the courage that you mentioned earlier, to tell her straight, because she deserved that. And that was the other thing about this. Did you
tell her, or did she find out?
So she had suspected. I then told her that I was unhappy we were over it was ending, and then it wasn't for, it was about, from memory, I think it was about a week-ish or so later that I then did tell her that yes, there was somebody else, etc.
And how long had it been going on secretly?
So myself and my partner had met through mutual friends in the summer, June-ish, July, something like that. We were just kind of friends at that point, as I said, kind of getting to know each other, blah, 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 but there was something there, that spark and everything. And then I suppose if you were counting from the first physical point of any affair, like a kiss or anything, like anything out of the we're just friends, or anything, that was like the October. And then March 17th was the day that I told my wife that it was over between our marriage. So it was about a week or less than 2 weeks after that I told her the truth about me and this other person.
You know what? You didn't gaslight her. So many men who have affairs are like, you're crazy. Nothing's happening.
Do you know what,
And that's
yeah.
probably easier to forgive you and to be in the place that you are because you were never mean.
No, however, what I will own is the cowardness part of it, where at one point she was suspecting and she had messaged another friend from the train thinking it was that there was something going on with this person who was actually just a friend.
What's the train line you take? 'Cause this sounds
It
wild.
sounds lit, Tom.
Well,
and can I
we need
get
to
in
get
on
on
the
this
WhatsApp group?
I'm
Have you got any gentlemen
I'm
friends?
tendering for a show on Channel 4 for it.
No, but it sounds fire.
There's an
It
app
was-
to be
no,
made.
well,
There's
But no, so she'd messaged my wife. So it was a busy WhatsApp group, but COVID put a stop to that because no one commutes into town as often as they did. But no, so my first wife, Mama N, she had messaged my other friend, who was a friend, to say, I think this is what's going on, blah, 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 of which there was nothing. So she was absolutely very honest and absolutely nothing that was going about. And in my cowardness of being asked quite directly, I think you're doing this with so-and-so, my cowardly kind of, I can't deal with this shit. Right?
You said no.
The Tom-shaped hole in the wall was to go, no. Specifically that person,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
so
it's
that
like,
is a
no,
bit
I'm not
gaslight. That
having
is
it.
a
Yeah.
bit gaslighty, but it wasn't in the purposes to make her think she's going mad or say it's all in your head. Or
Yeah.
it
I'm
was
not
actually
having
more of a
an affair
panic and a
with
fear of, oh my God,
Susan.
I'm not a big enough human being and a brave enough man to deal with this shit right now. So it was actually my cowardness. But that was one of the hugely motivating factors later on, that this human being who I care for deeply and respect, and the statements like when people say, oh, like they were the mother or the father of my children, okay, what does that actually mean? Like, do you actually still hold them in high regard? Do you still hold them? She had essentially done nothing wrong, right? We had grown apart and disconnected for a multitude of things we've spoken about, but she wasn't an evil person. She's a great mum. She deserved to be happy. I couldn't give her that. I probably deep down also didn't want to give her that or find a way to do that. And she deserved to have those mind gremlins put at ease, so that she wasn't internalizing and think, well, was it me? Was I going mad? Was it this thing? Like, she deserved to know that, even in the context of, I knew that would really, really hurt her. And that's a bit that still even gets me almost 10 years later, is how could I possibly hurt someone that I cared that much about, that I'm not romantically in love with anymore? I don't want to be in that relationship. Actually, all I really wanted was for her to be really happy. And it's really lovely to see her really happy now. And it's really lovely that we can both share our own happinesses in that way.
And I mean, I found that really reassuring to hear, actually. How has your experience and what you went through and all of those nice things that you can say about the experience, which must have been awful for all of you at the time, you've now turned that into being Mr. Divorce Coach. How did you do that and why?
Whistle stop tour, long story short, I'd spent 15 years in the city working in recruitment and headhunting and running a couple of companies.
Making dollar.
Yeah, well, not quite. It
Spent
was
it all on
sustainable.
train routes.
Let's say it's sustainable. I was getting the train in, not the
Yeah.
chopper, so wasn't that good. But my role when I used to run these recruitment businesses was more as a kind of sales director. It was actually about interpersonal development and like developing people and training. And I started getting really interested in how people think and operate, what makes them tick, how to motivate them, all that sort of stuff. So I started getting interested in a few bits like kind of coaching, business executive coaching. And And I'd also had a therapist myself some years prior for some other stuff, which I won't go into, which was fantastic. Fantastic resource that a lot of people do and should call upon, even if they need to. The bit that it left a bit of a gap for me, though, was that it was fantastic for that kind of deep reflective piece, but it didn't help me answer any of the here and now and future questions. And that's where I found coaching in a business context was really kind of helpful. So I separated in 2017. I was studying coaching and then started getting interested in kind of surface level psychology, mindset stuff. So cognitive behavior, something called neurolinguistic programming, NLP. So like subconscious mind techniques, building resilience, confidence builders, stuff like that. And then something called timeline therapy and hypnotherapy. It took about 2 years, whatever it was, to get through all of that. And then it was some point late 2018. I was still working in recruitment, finished all my training, credit where credit's due. It was my other half, new partner, sitting on the sofa one night, pause Netflix because we're talking about stuff and we're in the middle of the divorces and stuff. And I completed my training. She said, you could use these, something along the lines of, you could use these skills to help other people, particularly other guys, where if you mention the words therapy, counselling, talk to someone, they go, nothing wrong with me. I don't need to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
It's that one over there, right? Or whatever it might be. But defensive, deflective, that stigma that still exists and existed around kind of counselling therapy. So we literally sat there and paused Netflix on our phones and went, coaching, divorce, and this thing popped up that people do divorce coaching. I was like, oh, it's a thing. People do it for a job. It exists. The bit that made us start, I say we because we run the practice together, the bit that made us start doing this was after about 4 or 5 pages of Google, what we couldn't find was one guy.
Yes.
There wasn't one, and this isn't this long ago, this is 2018 into 2019.
That's so interesting.
There wasn't one, sorry, hand on heart, tell a lie, there was one guy and he was in the States.
Why do you think that is?
That's a really, really good question.
Well, let me give you some options because I would automatically jump to, is it because women need to talk about these things? They want to they need the support. They need somebody to hold their hand, whereas men are a bit...
They'd high five them.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. High five versus
right.
well done, son, versus
You got rid of her.
Yeah.
get in there, boss, son, versus oh my God, that's terrible.
But the common misconception about divorce coaching is that this isn't about, and I've had proper horrible threats about this, like direct messaging and shit like that, is I'm not promoting or advocating for people to get divorced.
Yeah.
When a client comes to me, whether they're individuals or as a couple, first and foremost, my thing is, right, can we mend the existing relationship? If not, and that needs to be grieved, can we bend into a new, evolved, upgrade version 2.0? And what does that look like? And what do you both need? And how does it operate? Is it feasible and sustainable? And if not, then then the end. How do you do this with dignity, respect, kindness, compassion, humility? So it's always first and foremost is like we want to try and keep you away from that if we can.
Fix it.
But if that's the bit, or upgrade it because it can't necessarily be fixed.
It's so interesting because I always say fix it or fuck it, but there's going to be fix it, upgrade it, or fuck it.
Yeah.
That's going to be my new mantra now.
Yeah.
When talking to friends who are...
Do the upgrade, yeah. But going back to your earlier question, sorry. So that's how. That's right. So it was. So after we googled it through, we saw there was no guys doing it. My other half had said, right, maybe we should do this. So left recruitment. This was now, mid 2019. Set the business up 1st of October 2019. Had a whole go-to-market strategy, marketing again. And then we all got locked up and weren't allowed out anywhere. So I couldn't go and meet, couldn't network, couldn't see clients.
But you know what? People were having so many affairs during the pandemic. I know so many people in the countryside, not naming names, but
breaking those rules.
People having sex in fields. It was quite wild.
I didn't witness that.
No, but on the other side, people were telling me, "Oh, did you know thingy?" You know, I was like, "What on earth?" I was literally just making sourdough. What are you people doing?
Our own health minister.
Yeah.
Had a very public. How's it changed over the years? So you said 2019, obviously we went through COVID. that was wild, and everyone was having sex in fields.
While making sourdough.
And banana bread.
Multitasking.
Banana bread, yeah.
That's two of my favourite things. Sorry. Depends what you're eating.
How has it changed and evolved? And
As an industry and a sector.
yeah, and like obviously there are quite a few male divorce coaches now.
You're the best one.
A handful. More and more are required. Anybody that wants to find out about that, come talk to me. I'll point you in the right direction.
And it's really important for men's mental health. We're not going to talk, because,
I would love for my first husband to be able to
I love how you've upgraded him to first husband.
Yeah.
That's really cute. That's new.
in 20
I love
minutes.
it.
My starter husband.
see. I've already got to take.
I
home.
love that for you, Buzzy.
Like my starter.
I'd
home,
love for
like
my starter husband's first husband. I love that for you. That's new. She's never said that before.
But I would love for him to sit down and have a conversation with somebody like you. And I know that man to man, to be able to articulate his experience and what he's gone through and his actions and his behaviour and how that might have, how my behaviour and my actions and all of that. I think it's so healthy.
It's never one-sided.
And
That's
it's
what I've
never
learned. And you have
one-sided.
to take accountability for your
Yeah.
side of the street.
Absolutely.
And I think that's how you grow up and get accountability. This is the thing that I'm taking away what you're saying from both sides, because it's so easy to be like me, and it's never like that.
Do you know,
is
I've
it?
got this again. I've got another little saying. I've said it right, hand on heart. I said this to my ex-wife pretty much immediately at the point of kind of separating, and we've talked about this several times. And she has said, and I quote, "The first time you said that, I wanted to punch you in the face."
Fair.
But the caveat is that she said it's now the thing that actually, whilst I hated you for saying that there and then, it's now the thing that I actually see kind of in action, behaviour, living and breathing every day. And the thing that I said to her was, I want to be a better ex-husband than I was a husband at the end of our relationship.
This is why you can't hate Tom Nash
ever.
because it's accountability.
Because I was
Yeah.
a shit husband at the end. In the context of husband and all the
How
different
did you get
provisions.
to understanding yourself to be able to say that? I mean, I find that extraordinarily insightful and
Do you know what?
aware.
My doing the coaching courses, doing the CBT, doing the NLP, my partner is an extremely intelligent and a force to be reckoned with woman. She keeps me on my toes. She's fantastic, but she really challenges how I think and how I see the world. And she was actually kind of my coach, really. It's kind of, well, hold on, what about this? And have you thought about things ways? And she would not, and she's like a ball of the dog, she wouldn't let go. Going through all of that as well, the other things that I kind of self-reflectively looked at was, you asked about impacts earlier, right? And this is all kind of connected, was, and this isn't my feel sorry for me point, please don't, right? But the bit that really came to a head for us was, I'd never suffered with anxiety, panic attacks, anything like that. And I walked into work. I ran a recruitment business. I was one of the directors. I had like 100 odd people on the floor, on the sales floor. I'd been there for years. Like, everybody knew who I was. I was a kind of confident leader, but not a boss type thing. I'd walked in one random weekday morning, and all of this angst and panic and fear was building up about what was going on, who I'd become, what I was doing, who it affected. I tried. Me and Donna both. I said her name. Sorry. Can I say that again?
Yes.
Me and my other half, a new partner, we had really consciously tried to stay away from each other. We took different trains. We would walk different routes, right? And we would still end up together. So we used to say we were like magnets. Didn't matter where we were, we could go straight back together. And it all built up to a head, and I collapsed. I collapsed at work going in one morning. I had a panic attack. And
You collapsed?
I collapsed.
You collapsed.
I collapsed, had a panic attack. And I thought I was having a heart attack, as did all of my team and colleagues. They called paramedics. I had all the sticky plasters on. They had to take me to wherever the hospital is over the kind of other side of Aldgate, and admit me and run like all the different heart tests and shit like that.
Who did you think of in that moment?
She took me because she went around the corner in Moorgate, and I knew that she'd be a good person to have there. But yeah, so that had all come together, and this is why I'm kind of getting a roundabout way to answer your question. After all of that, and then months and times that followed later, the bit that had really hit me about my experience and the emotions I went through, like the depths of guilt and shame, self-resentment, and, for want of a better phrase, fucking hating myself. I did not like who I'd become. How could I be that guy? And at the same time, be ecstatically head over the heels Disney-style love with this new person who is fucking awesome and I think is really hot and all the rest of it. On the flip side of that, thinking, how can you hurt this other person who's really lovely, has been there with you for years, you've got kids with, right, and all of that. And then I'd also, as a child of divorced and separated parents from a very young age, I'd always made somewhat of a self-vow that I would never, once I got married and had kids, I wouldn't be that person. I'd never be that individual, and especially for an affair or anything like that, it really... it caused a massive internal conflict of who I thought I was and the type of person I thought I was and how I thought I showed up in the world, and all of a sudden all that came crashing down. I was like, you're a fucking arsehole, right? You are literally a piece of shit. And then it was like, okay, so now we've realised that and you've held the mirror up, how are you going to be better? What do you need to do to change? Which then all rolls into, how do I help other people?
Yeah.
I said earlier about like my client base, I work with men, women and couples, purely by default, not by design. The one-to-ones of male or female, it's about 70-30 men to women. It is predominantly male. Very interestingly, and whether my peers and colleagues in divorce coaching, male or female divorce coaches, one thing is quite apparent. We were talking about this when I was running supervision about a month ago, and every single other person on there that was a lady at the time, there was probably like 10 or 15 of us in this call, had to do the same thing. Their female clients come to them for, what do I do? Strategy, numbers,
Hold my hand.
SAS on manoeuvres.
Let's hold my hand.
No, it's like
Tell me what do I do? How do I get through this? What people do I need? What's the potential outcomes? Right? What does this all look like? And it's strategy.
Women are strategic. It's SAS shit.
I'm such a textbook.
Right.
That is that. I'm that person.
The guys.
What do I do? What do I do?
The guys, of which there are a lot of guys that do seek out divorce coaching and come talk to someone like me or any of my female peers and colleagues in divorce coaching. They want to be able to talk to someone. They want to unload. They want to talk about actually how they're feeling, how shit it is.
And not to feel bad about themselves.
What's happened to them or how they feel about themselves or what that guilt is, that shame is. How do I let go? Like, was I really this person? Identity crisis. My kids think I'm an asshole. Like, how can I be a better version? And what do I need to learn from this? That's what the guys want. They want this emotional turmoil.
Therapy.
To a degree.
No,
but
they want to be
don't want
heard.
the therapy. But yeah, so
they
they
don't
want to be
have
heard.
girlfriends.
But they also then want to go, but how do I move forward from
Yeah.
it? And what can I do? So it still moves into more of a coaching kind of realm of like, what do we do? What's the issue? Where do you want to get to? All the kind of nuts and bolts.
It's female
pieces.
friendships. This podcast started because Buzzy and I got lit over gin and rosé, and literally whipped out our
I was not
iPhones.
invited.
Next time.
Let's start a podcast. This is fuck 'em. Literally, this is how it started. And because female friendships are so healing, men don't have that. Like literally, I don't know what they talk about. So that makes
Do you know
total
why?
sense.
The vast majority of men invest heavily into singular relationships. So if they are, I don't know, 18, 19, early 20s and they haven't got a partner, or maybe they have but they're not living together, the vast majority of investment relationship-wise might be, I don't know, with their mates from school, going down the pub, or, not to be stereotypical, but like
It is.
the Saturday league football,
It's
whatever
football,
it is,
it's
right? And then when
this.
they do get married or they move in with a partner and they have kids, that starts to dissipate, and the other investment goes, right, I'll put that here. So the person predominantly that the men would go and talk to about how they might be feeling or what the problem is, etc., is going to typically be their partner, their spouse.
Yeah. It's sad,
Because that's
actually.
kind of where they invest it.
Yeah.
And you'll back me up on this. We're relatively simple creatures for all intensive purposes.
My friend said men are like...
men are like dogs.
They're like dogs.
Yeah, right, but we're relatively simple creatures to a degree. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
And what's happening?
No,
I'm
but
really good with the jokes. That was
just
awesome. I love that.
My friends are like men are like puppies. You just feed them, let them run around,
ruffle their hair, tell them they've been a good boy,
like
and
to
they'll
shag, and then that's it. Just like hump
But
over there,
they-
feed them,
But
cuddle
they
them.
also aren't. They are
by the same
capable,
token, but they can also be quite complex at
and
the
they
same-
they're capable
Yeah.
of causing a huge amount of pain and hurt. And
without doing any self-reflection or anything
yeah,
like that.
I think
Yeah, I get that.
I think in a way, I wish that it could be a bit more simple.
It's not simple. It's
But
very
it's-
nuanced, and it's very. And it's. Can I ask you two tough questions?
Oh, please.
And I'm going to throw in a nice one in the middle. Are we starting with A or B, Tom? Tough question A, tough question B.
Given that you don't know what these questions are.
Yes.
I was going to say,
It's going
right?
to make it even
This
more
is like, I feel like a Simpsons episode of like, what's in the box? What's in the box? The mystery box. I'm going to go with C, all of the above. No. Let's start with A. Let's start at the beginning.
Right. I forgot what the question was. I don't know.
What do you think about B?
Okay. I'm going to ask you a tough question. Why not just leave? If everything
question.
is breaking down, you're not happy, blah, 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 why not be kind and be like, tap, tap, bitch, I'm out.
Because that's still fearful, painful, right? That's all the... Like you said earlier about, like, for some reason, sometimes it's about exploding things, right? If I pour enough petrol on it and blow it up, then I've got no comeback. True story. The first person I told about anything before I actioned any situation was I talked to one of my siblings. I spoke to my sister.
Interesting.
That was, for me, looking back at it and realising what I was doing at the time, that for me is I'm very good with accountability when I've got like a partner. An accountability partner. I've got like, if I've shared something with the world, I've got to see it through now. So by telling my sister, I then had to do something about it.
You
Whereas
made it
the
real.
months and
Yeah.
months before, I didn't and wasn't there.
What did your sister say? That's very interesting. Older or younger sister?
Older.
Yeah, this is interesting.
I honestly can't remember. I think she just listened.
That's
I
kind.
think she just kind of listened.
Did she
and was
judge you?
there. No. She was very balanced, objective, fair, considerate.
But once
she
you'd
was good.
offloaded,
But once I'd offloaded, I'd created something. It existed. It was out there in the
Yeah.
world. I've got to do something with it.
I've got a theory. You can't be a dick if you've got an older sister. Because you learn.
I've got two older sisters. So
Now, I have a theory. I've never met a man who's a dick who has an older sister because you learn empathy. They'll just slap you. And also you've seen how men treat them, or you have a little flash.
Oh,
you
I
just,
know
you think of women in different ways.
I know.
Does that make
I know.
sense?
It does. I do know someone. You're going to have to cut that bit out. I do know someone like that, which is my first wife's brother.
If you
You're going
do.
to have to cut this bit out.
Yeah, he's a dick.
He's disowned her because of how close we are.
That's so weird.
And he's also He's
Yeah.
also triangulated their other sister and his mum
I bet there's money involved.
to reject her. No,
He's just a nasty piece
what?
of work.
Hang on, he's cross with his sister
For
for
making it work.
remaining friends with.
Yeah.
with me
With
and having
you.
a co-parenting relationship and going on holidays.
What's it got to do with
and-
him?
There's some
Bloody good
family
question.
rivalry.
That's
there's
extraordinary.
That's weird.
Yeah.
We'll get into that afterwards.
So-
Afterwards. Okay, so let me
wait,
give.
so
That was A. Well
was
done.
A.
I appreciate that. Now here's the palate cleanser. The nice question.
Ooh.
What's your favourite ice cream?
What's my favourite ice cream? Do you know what I had the other day? And I was really pissed off because I really love her, but she wound me up, bless her, because she ate the last bit. It was a Ben & Jerry's banoffee. Banoffee pie. Pretty sure it's Ben & Jerry's.
Top
Now it's
tier.
just Jerry's. Ben's left.
Has Ben left?
Is it?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
Jerry had an affair. sorry. This is my warp sense.
So Banoffee. Okay, back to business B.
Back to business.
So that was your
Back to
little
business.
palate
That's my
cleanser.
See.
This is going to be a tough one.
There you go.
Ultimately, how can you trust your partner?
How can I trust my partner?
Because she is a cheater, and so are you.
My partner. She had already left her husband.
Okay, but
They
she
had
was
been-
having, she
she'd
was
already
messing with
had
someone's
these-
husband.
Yeah.
So there's a boundary cost.
Yeah.
How, like, say you go on a podcast and you meet someone and you think they're really hot. Like, how can she trust you? Sorry, that was really fun. That's fucking weird.
It's a really
That was
valid
the
question.
business asking. Like, say you go you're on a podcast, you meet someone. And
Yeah. Or you're out in the field making sourdough.
You're on the, you're on a tube.
Right.
You're on a tube.
How do we
or
trust
the
each
train.
other?
No, but how do you trust?
How do you trust each other?
Yeah.
No, and it is a really, really valid point, right?
Because it's like, you've been there. I've been there.
We're brutally honest with each other, and we have, but right at the beginning, but we continually reinforce this, and we talk a lot, and very openly, very honestly. There is no like holds barred. You can't say anything, and we have a bit of a rule in our house with the kids as well, because obviously we've got a blended family. She's got 2, I've got 2. They do 50-50, and in a really warped twist of fate, I don't think we've spoken about this yet, both our exes became a couple.
That happens a lot.
Do you not know that?
No! Plot twist!
Do you know what?
Husky's going down!
I looked
Husky's going down!
I looked at my watch and I thought, how do I get a second episode out of this?
You're coming back, Tom. Tom's coming back. We're doing a double episode. And you're coming back.
Back up. So
Back up.
your current partner's ex-husband is now together with your first wife.
Has been for about 6 months less than
I
me.
love that.
You know what you say? You say, you're welcome, bitch.
Or as my bonus. I got you a present. Or as my bonus daughter calls it, because I don't use the term step. There's a reason
Oh,
for
I
that.
like that.
As my bonus daughter says, we parent swapped.
I mean, it happens. It
Rather
happens.
than putting the kids in a bowl, the keys in the bowl, you put the kids in and went.
I
"Yeah,
think
blah,
that's
blah, blah."
so clever. Can I just say, you know who famously also did that? Shania Twain
She did indeed.
and her best friend, and they swapped, and they're still together, I think. So what? You know, it's when you wipe each other's tears.
Do you know what's really?
Are they still together?
Yeah.
How long have they been together?
About 6 months less than us.
Oh, I'm so happy for everybody now.
I'm shook.
Well,
how did
there
you
was a
handle that?
really,
Were
really
you
shitty
jealous?
bit. There
Were
was
you
a
jealous?
Really shitty bit.
Were you jealous? I would have been. I'd have
No,
been
do
like,
you know why we weren't? And this is going to make me sound like an absolute arsehole.
hashtag sister wife. That's her new name in her phone.
Me and my other half had spoken when we were friends on the train before, again, way before anything happened, before that fake.
Oh, you met her,
situation.
you were friends with the
So
husband?
No. So me and my partner who were friends,
Yeah.
we had spoken about the fact of, and this is way before anything ever happened, and it wasn't like we were talking about them, tagging them off. It was actually saying, look, we actually are kind of really similar and get on really well, and we have a lot of similar values, interests, ways of parenting.
Yeah, how
whole
did
host of
they
different
meet,
stuff.
given they're not on
And
the
then-
train?
But what we were also saying was like, those two would be really great together. Right?
You match made.
Well,
you
no, we
actually-
were actually saying like, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna hit the mic. We were actually saying from afar, those two would be great together. And this is before anything ever happened between me and my now other half. Long story short, and as I understand it, you'd need to ask them. I think it's somewhere in that article from one of them had stated about it. The story goes that she was out one night. This is first wife. She was out one night. My other half's first husband, the other dad in the scenario, he was out, walked past, going into the bar, said hello, like basically knew who they were. I think they'd seen each other stalking online and obviously knew who each other were. Her sister turned around and went, "Oh, who's that?" And she said, "That's so-and-so, he's so-and-so's ex, the one that Tom's with." And then several bottles of wine and God knows what else later. And then, yes.
Did that help you relieve your guilt?
No, because it wasn't about that. No, it wasn't about that.
Did you get jealous?
No, I wouldn't say I got jealous. I was a bit confused at first because like,
Is this
we always said that
revenge?
this would work well. The bit that had confused me was that
How well?
they were still in their they were still in their understandable
Grief.
anger, grief, etc. Right, and the grief cycle. I know that you've had a really lovely guest on here in season 1 talking about grief cycle, and
Lizzie.
yeah, and the grief cycle, Kubler-Ross traditional grief cycle, it's not as cyclical for a relationship breakdown. It's less kind of going round in that Netflix buffer circle, so on a circular motion. It's like a polygraph up and down. You go through passive and active states, and the last phase isn't acceptance. Sometimes that comes really early. It's actually disconnection
Yeah.
in all
Yes.
different forms, emotively,
I'm there now.
financially,
Me too.
legally, communicatively, whatever it might be. Anyway, I'm going off my
No, it's
psychology ramble.
fabulous.
But yeah, so no, they've been together for 7 years. No, I didn't feel guilty about it. We were like, okay, so how's this going to work?
It's lovely for the children.
We actually,
It's lovely for the
this was
kids.
the point.
really
We were
It's
like,
actually
lovely.
beautiful.
logistically, this is great. We'll cut down on our carbon footprint, one
Yeah.
drop off. Right? But we went through about 18-ish, almost 20, well, even about 18 months, almost 24 months of kind of hell to get to a point of that we can co-parent somewhat semi-effectively. And then about another year until we got to the point of going, well, we've kind of all got through our stuff. What's the thing they have in the background of at Huel, the drink, right? Only because I see it on like Diary of a CEO. The background of the offices behind reception, they have "Don't be a dick," right? And that's actually one of the phrases I'll use with clients quite a lot. But when we'd all dealt with our stuff in our own little unique ways and got through the weirdness and the awkwardness, which it was.
You had an orgy.
And those first, no. Not at all. There was no sourdough or filth involved.
Wow, wow.
Banana bread.
Wow, chicka, wow, wow. We're all friends now.
My kids are going to listen to
Sorry. Don't listen to this.
But no. But once you got through all of the awkwardness and the weirdness, we can now do things like sometimes when I'm working from home and I'm online, I'm upstairs in the study, I'm online with a client on a session, and it's like 4:15. And we do things like equal drop-offs. If the kids are going to the other parents, you deliver them.
Yeah.
Rather than you arriving to take them away, which
Yeah.
for the kids can make them feel like they're being withdrawn from a situation, and they're like, I don't want to leave, Mum, I don't want to leave, Dad. Whereas actually, if you're delivering them, you can actually shift the
It's nice.
Yeah,
It's,
the
it's actually
experience for them.
it's the handover. It's much more compassionate.
Transition,
Yeah.
another way of calling it. So when I'm working sometimes at 4 o'clock, I might hear the door go, and it's first wife letting herself in the door to drop off one or two
She's
or
got a
three
key.
of the boys.
She's got a key.
We both have keys to our houses. We have our own WhatsApp group called the Parents. So that started.
You are blowing my mind.
It's almost becoming not real. It's like
There's something what's
it's
sinister.
so-
Tom's a psycho.
No, as in it's like a dream
It's elevated.
situation.
It's elevated.
That
You can never have an affair again, Tom,
No,
because you
nor
can't
would
blow
I.
this shit up.
Yeah.
Nor would
Or
I.
she
oh,
would.
Sorry, I just realised I never answered your original question about with the guilt thing. And nor would I, because me and my other half talk about everything so brutally honestly. And we have
Yeah.
we do have a very outspoken rule. We share this rule with the kids, especially for the kids. If they're old enough to ask, they're old enough to know. Right? Intelligently, if it's a case of, because we don't want them hearing things at school and blah, blah, blah. So if they're going to ask a question, we'll talk to them. And case in point,
I like
my eldest boy, about a year or so ago, can't remember, we were in the car taking him to something, school or whatever, and completely out of nowhere, he turned around and said, "What's an affair?"
How old was he?
15,
Oh,
give or take.
God bless him that it took to
Yeah.
15 to ask him that. I was 8. It was in my face, to be fair.
But then I was like, okay, so I was like, okay, I'm driving and I'm on the motorway, so slow down. So it was a case of, right, I just wanted to understand the question. I was like, so just to understand, like, where's the question coming from?
Google.
What is it
He's
that you want
Googled
to
you.
know? Like, is it something you've heard, read, seen? Is it that you've got questions about stuff or these unknown things? And we were having a really brutally honest conversation in the car, and and then it led to, he's like, so have you ever had an affair? And I was like, yeah, I did. And it was with who I'm with now. And it was whilst I was with your mum. But again, it was that accountability piece, like, got to own my shit. That is something that happened. I can't hide from it.
What did
And
he
it's not
say?
to justify it either. It's also then about just helping to create some understanding. And then the outcome bit of that going, but what's mine and your mum's relationship like now? More importantly, what's even, well, not more importantly, but equally, what's your mum's and my other half's relationship like? Particularly about the other person that's in the scenario because of who your mum's with, right? What's even weirder is my ex will ring my partner for relationship advice.
Yeah, I mean, and now we're definitely not in the realms of normal people, are
It's
we?
reality TV. Bravo me to get you signed up, because I would be watching every week. It's fascinating.
Well, no, but genuinely, she rings up and she's like, this has happened, or he's done that, or we've had a falling out, or he pissed me off about this. or whatever, and she'll ring my other half because she's like, "You've known him for 25 years, so
deal with it. Help me deal with it.
help me."
I like that though.
I
It
love
is.
that.
It's giving commune. It's giving
Sisterhood.
sisterhood. It's giving respectful, and you've come out the other side. Would you change anything?
Absolutely not a thing. The only bit that I would change, which you can't, is the hurt and the pain that I would have caused to other people along the way. That's the only bit. If I could go in and kind of take that bit out, but by the same token,
It had to happen that way.
that has to happen
Yeah.
for everybody, for them, for me to know you hurt someone. You've got to live with that, and you've got to
Grow.
You've got to grow. You've got to work to rectify.
You're helping people because of that. You wouldn't be here talking about it if you had just.
And that's the point: is helping
It's
other
really
people get through their
for-
stuff.
Can I ask about the children? Because Buzzy and I,
course.
we've got daughters. That's how we met. We were school mum friends, and it's very hard to help navigate for the kidlets. How did you, like we just saying how you spoke to your son, but I think especially with girls who can be, I don't know how to say this politely, but they can see what's going on and so they can, there's respect. And how do you help them to heal during a divorce or having maybe negative feelings towards one parent or the other parent? Because I know a lot of people who write into us. And how do they help their children get through divorce or through an affair or through any of this?
Much the same as any other kind of relationship. Kind of glossary term of effective communication, right? And how it's age appropriate, sharing pertinent information, not the devils of the details. He or she did, said, did, blah blah blah.
Have you done that,
But
Buzzy?
understanding.
Definitely.
Yeah. I really regret that. I really regret the rat-a-tat-tat and the rat-a-tat-tat and the
But what
rat-a-tat-tat in
happens
the beginning. It's
is
hard.
your emotion of anger, bitterness, sadness, fears, resentments, etc. They morph. You then morph that into them, and it becomes something for them because now they've become your emotional support crutch,
Which is
to pick
really
you back
bad.
up.
Parentification.
Yeah. And I'll give you an example about here. I kind of as a tip live example of a scenario, and I never use client ones because obviously they're confidential. My other half talking to her daughter, my bonus daughter, when things were a little bit fractured between her and her dad, at the height of high emotion. It's all very fresh and new, and bonus daughter saying about maybe didn't want to go to dad's that weekend or whatever it might have been. And mother half having a conversation with her about that version of dad isn't dad. It's just a version of him that he's at the moment and some of the stuff he's going through.
Yeah.
That
so
doesn't
sweet.
necessarily mean that's who he is. And actually, you've got part of that is actually still being there to help him come through that because your dad is in there. That guy that you love, like who does those silly things with you, who do anything for you, he's still there. He still exists. He's just in a bit of an echo chamber of his own stuff at the minute. And he will come back, but you've got to keep that consistency. And that is actually something that then helps him get back as well.
That's
because
so kind.
otherwise it becomes compounded. It would have been much easier to go, yep, no, you're not going.
Yeah,
Right?
you have to try. Like with my dad was in my opinion, a sociopath and a narcissist. He's dead now, so he can't come for me. But it's sorry, I keep dying.
Well, that escalated quickly.
But it's true facts. I've dealt with it, and I said to my children, you can be very angry. It's a very upsetting time, but also, I said to them, so we broke up when we were like 12. They were like 2 years ago. They were 12. I said, everyone finds out that their parents are human beings, and it's very disappointing. Some people are in their middle age. You were 12. I'm a human being. I'm fallible. No one knows what they're doing, but you have to have love and forgiveness. And that's like, I wish my dad wanted to see me. I wish I wanted to go, whatever you feel, anger or whatever towards me, towards him, because it's really upsetting. We're just people, and he's not beating the shit out of you.
We had to.
Sorry.
When I say about, when I say about,
Actually, I was like,
no.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
when you were asking about and I was saying about talking about things, being open, right? No lie, hand on heart. Last night I dropped off middle boy at the gym, came back, and as I drive around the front of the house, I can see my other half and my bio too, because as far as I'm concerned, I have 4 kids. But my
Cute.
bio too, we're in the kitchen. I can see Donna talking. As I drive past the window, I could see that she has this look on her face. I'm like, oh shit, what's one of them done? What are they talking about? I walk in, they're actually having a nice, open, deep and meaningful conversation. And so at this point of recording, those two are 16 and 13, middle one's 15, eldest bonus daughter's imminently 20. But the 16-year-old and 13-year-old in the kitchen. I'm going to walk in, I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, we're just talking. I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, we're actually just talking about relationships and how relationships change and how they evolve. And she said, we're basically just talking to the two boys and saying about sometimes relationships don't work out. It's statistically very rare that the person that you maybe meet as high school sweetheart
19.
is the person that you're with forever.
How old were you?
I'm 22.
Yeah. And then we're also saying that you go through different versions of yourself and you get that, I'll get my gap year and I'll go and travel Southeast Asia and I'll find myself. And then you get to, and maybe then you do go to uni or you get a career or an apprenticeship or whatever you do. And then you find a different version of yourself. And then you get to 36 and go, oh, I'm going to go do divorce coaching. Having run recruitment businesses in the city for 15 years, that couldn't be any different, could it? And you just keep finding these different evolvements. So it's conceivable and likely that those relationships, wants and needs and moving parts will change. It's just about, do you evolve together? Do you evolve differently? But it's those types of things about having those conversations to help them understand the uniquenesses of different relationships. There is no one size fits all. And also that the flip side of that is that you could be withholding that other person from being happy.
Yeah.
Are you getting them to live a false truth that they don't even know is a false truth?
Sorry, I shouldn't have laughed, but when... I can't say it, I'll tell you later. But towards the end of, when I was forced to blow up my marriage, it was like, go be with your level. I was like so fucking rude. But I was like, no, I don't make you happy. You know what? I don't know how to say this. How do I say it without getting fucking like okay, you know what you're saying? Love and release. I'm not the person for you. Mm-hmm. You need to be with someone who makes you happy. Mm-hmm. And that was also like quite like, I'm not for you. I'm making you very unhappy. We are not the best versions of ourselves together. And because I did love him so much, we were best friends since we're 19. It's like, you know, when you're with someone for 26 years, they become more than a partner. They're your family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go be happy.
Yeah.
With a 4.
But that's exactly how I feel like first wife is exactly that. It's like she's family and like we're really close. It's weird that sometimes now we might speak more times in a week than we ever did when we were together because and not even just the two of us, but like the two women in my life.
You were meant to be friends, maybe. And
sometimes some people are actually better being co-parents than they are as a nucleus family. It's actually, there's again loads of research around this. It's not the divorce, and I'm using that term loosely, doesn't necessarily mean people are married. Yeah,
separation.
Separation or divorce. It's not the experience of the parental breakup, let's say instead, that negatively affects the children. It's the conflict and how it's handled.
Yeah.
Children would actually be more adversely affected by staying in a high conflict, maybe that abusive or whatever it might be.
It's so true.
Or even neglectful. Doesn't necessarily have to be abusive, but a neglectful, disconnected.
Cold home.
Yeah, right. What are the things that they're not seeing? So when I sometimes when I'm talking, again, clients, individuals or couples, and they'll go, oh, we never argue in front of the kids. I'm like, cool, brilliant, good, well done. You're a good human, right?
That's not bad. Children need to know how to argue.
But then I'll also say to them, there's good conflict and there's bad conflict. And actually they need to learn how do you close the conflict loop and resolution, acknowledgement, not agreement, understanding,
part of
apologies.
The education.
Right, part of that is to learn. But it's the high negative conflict that affects them. And then I'll say to them, so if you're not shouting or throwing the plate at their face or whatever in front of them or anything, but what are they also not seeing? What are they not seeing in terms of any micro expressions of affection or intimacy, right? I don't mean sex when I say intimacy. I mean like
kindness,
holding the hands when they walk the dog, like helping them unload the dishwasher, like saying, oh, do you want a cup of tea, or doing something nice for them, right? Or as I was doing
holding bags
or as I was doing last night, dyeing my partner's hair. She's gonna she's gonna kill me. You can cut that one out, right?
No, everyone's gonna be like, Tom's amazing.
Oh my god, yeah, that's not gonna go down well. Sorry, darling. Love you.
But it's kindness, daily kindness.
What's those other little nuances that they're not learning about affection, human interaction, what relationship and love looks like, and how to talk and do things for each other. Because if they're not picking that up, well, what are they going to take into their relationships?
Yeah.
Okay, they might not be shouting, screaming, but they might not know how to treat people with kindness, with respect, to look at love languages and do the things that make their relationship happy.
What are your love languages?
Mine, touch, affection, touch, like that. That's
And what else?
probably a
That's
big
it.
favourite one.
Food.
Yeah, pretty much straight down the middle. I love sourdough and going out the field.
Fields, trees.
Are you?
I'm also active service side.
Yeah, because of the dyeing
but
of the hair.
It's the bit that I get is actually doing the act of service. It's not about someone doing it for me.
You like to do it for them.
I like to do the thing that makes someone else's life easier, or that pleases them, or that makes them go, thank you, you made my day slightly better. Right?
I'm quality time and acts of service. Acts of service, quality time. And Buzzy, your love language?
Food. Always.
So that what? No, it's making of food. Like,
Sourdough.
for people who don't know about your love language in a field.
I don't know if I know what my love...
So it's touch. It's okay for anyone who doesn't know what love language is. It really blew my mind when I learned about this, and how with my ex-husband we had completely different. And my love languages triggered him, and his triggered mine. So like it's acts of service where I just want people to do nice things. Make me a cup of tea.
How do you like to give and also receive love?
So
I like to do nice things for
your
him.
acts of service. So like making food with someone would make you feel good and like make you feel and receiving that's acts of service. Physical touch, which is Tom's, like hugs and kisses, which I'm not. Which people really get shocked about.
I'm very affectionate.
I'm not that affectionate. I'm not that huggy kissy.
My first
That's a lie.
husband
You gave me a
would
nice big cuddle when we
wriggle
That's true.
out of a handhold.
He wriggled out of it. It's so.
He just couldn't. He hated holding my hand.
This is true.
So, second husband, not yet. He will always hold my hand.
Put it out there, manifest.
Well, you know, it's all about healing, progression.
Yeah. So then
moving on.
Acts of service, physical touch, words of affirmation,
Gifts.
gifts,
And
then-
it gifts make me feel a bit uncomfortable.
So fun. I taught my children very early. These are the love languages. Teach me, help me to help you, help me to help you. What are your languages? And I won't say which one is which because I've got twins. But one of them said, "I just want to hang out with you," because quality time's one.
Yep.
Just want to hang out with you and hug me. And I was like, cute. And the other one was like, "Are you going to judge me?" And I was like, "No." And she went, "Tell me I'm amazing and buy me shit." That's my girl. And I was like, done and done. So they're very different. You know who. Buzzy knows exactly which way around it is. But I don't judge. But like, so mine is acts of service and quality time. It used to be presents and it's changed. I don't care about that anymore. And can I say, like, my ex-husband's, it triggered him. He's like, "I'm not your bitch." No. He did it, but I think it was resentment grew. It's really interesting. Tom, you have been absolutely fabulous. You are now a friend of the Big D and of Buzzy and I. Please come back again. We need to do like a live or a Q&A so people can like chat to you and chitty chat.
Yeah, it's been fascinating getting your side of the story.
Yeah.
And if anyone else wants to get in touch with you, it's Mr. Divorce Coach. You're on Instagram, YouTube, all of that.
Yeah.
They can email you. What's your email?
Tom@mrdivorcecoach.co.uk.
And you operate all over London and outside of London.
Internationally.
Internationally, wow.
You've got the Zooms.
So until the next time, Tom, it's been amazing. Thank you. I've already got a list of questions for the second episode with you.
We will be giving your details to our ex-husbands. Hi everyone, I'm Ate Jewel and this is Buzzy Randall, my BFF and co-host of The Big D with Ate and Buzzy. If you like this episode, hit that button, subscribe and follow for more fabulous tales of dating, divorce and dalliance.